We have a guest in the house, so to speak, not here in the house, that a lot of you who listen to this program are familiar with Stephanie Miller. Without a whole bunch of unnecessary introduction, I'm just going to bring her on. Hi, Steph.
Wow, thanks for the big intro, Mike.
Yeah, well, you know what the hell. You know, I was sitting here. I was sitting here this afternoon trying to think the first time I met you, and I guess it was in Seattle or Sacramento, one of those cattle call things that we used to do, where we
town hall things, something panels, something.
Yeah. So now you've got a book, and I understand it's not a long book. It's what, 95 pages?
It's like 100 pages. It's a single. It's a Kindle single. But it's God bless America, Mike. It's number one. It's number one on Amazon. Number one political book. Number one humor book. Number one memoir.
Really, I had no idea. In other words, I'm talking to a number one author right now.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, my God.
Yes, indeed. And I was just laughing because I was thinking back to when we were in Seattle, and do you remember when the driver got us lost?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And I just remember you losing your shizzle in the back seat.
The guy was Russian.
Really Mike Malloy fashion, which was so entertaining.
But you remember the driver was Russian.
Right.
Wasn't he Russian?
The entire show, all of us, you, me, Randy Rhodes, everybody, right? Bill Pratt, everybody, Rachel, everybody that was going to do the panel was in that car.
Where I be going now?
Show.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was kind of scary, especially because he had a very strange, heavy-duty accent, and you know me, I'm just such a. I get very put off by heavy, strange accents from guys who are about 5'3" and weigh about 300 pounds. It was just
right. I remember it was just like hilarious. Everybody was exactly true to character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Randy was doing time checks, and you were losing your sizzle, and I was making fart jokes. And,
and what's his name? Bill Press. I don't know. He was doing something from his old CNN days. I forget what he was doing, but
right.
But it was a lot of fun. I guess that was the first time we all got together.
Hartman was probably calling like Stephen Hawking to get like some GPS coordinates to get us there.
That's
from
true.
NASA.
That's very true. I like what I found online today. It says "Sexy Liberal" is the book. That would be you. 3 million fans have been begging her to write. 3 million.
You know what? I'm spitballing, Mike. They give us all numbers on those talkers lists, and I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, well, I would too. What the hell? I mean, the last time I was around 3 million people was, I don't know, when I lived in Chicago. But it says the book.
I mean, listen, I just have to jump in. If Donald Trump says he can have $68 billion all of a sudden, why not? Why can't you have 3 million listeners?
That's
he was like Dr. Evil, right? Kat, he was like, I'm worth $1 million. I mean, 10 billion. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that was Kathy who
just
came in there. Stephanie Miller is like ice cream for breakfast or box wine through a crazy straw. Pure pleasure that some people say is bad for you, but you know better. This is Rachel Maddow talking. Sexy Liberal is deeply, deeply profane, big-hearted, surprising, and it might make you pee your pants. Just what you need. Read this book, Stephanie Miller for Everything, 2016. Is Rachel going over the top, or is it that good?
No, it is that good. And also I have blackmail material from her that weekend in Seattle.
Oh, right. Well, I remember that. Shh, don't say anything.
I spilled wine on the entire Maddow family at that event.
Yeah.
In some weird Sexy Liberal baptism. It was a little bit of an accident, but I sort of got all of them, Bob and Elaine and Rachel, with one spill.
Yeah, that was we talk about that even yet. That was quite a move. Lily Tomlin says Sexy Liberal is a great book with mind-expanding astuteness and side-splitting humor. Stephanie Miller is so wondrously witty and wise you will want to quote her. But first, you must read her. Okay.
The recently Emmy Award nominated Lily Tomlin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I left that part out, didn't I? I'm sorry. And then Rob Reiner said something nice. Reading Stephanie's book is like being on the best kind of dinner date. The conversation is smart, funny, and politically insightful. And Stephanie's contribution isn't bad either. Seriously, what a fun read. Stephanie, in her wondrously self-deprecating way, lets you into her brilliant mind, her no BS take on the political scene and life itself. Enter at your own risk. I've had, we've had some times together, you and I, but I was not aware. I was aware that you had a brilliant mind, but self-deprecating? Are you?
Please, are you kidding? I have the worst self-esteem of anyone in radio, and that's saying a lot.
Oh no, 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 no. I no. Well, maybe you think you do, but I think Sean Hannity has the worst self-esteem of anybody in radio. You know. So what do you now? What do you do you're on tour, or is this just being done by doing interviews like this? Do you actually go out?
Just like for right now, it's just an ebook, and like I say, Mike, I've just been thrilled. I mean, that's the thing. You and I have been fighting. Like, it is amazing, like how many fewer stations we're on than the right wingers, and it just makes me laugh. That I'm going, how is it? I had the #1 comedy tour in Sexy Liberal, a #1 comedy album, and now the #1 book. And I don't know if you saw where Ted Cruz, the New York Times wouldn't put him on the bestseller list because all those crappy right-wing books, they don't sell that many. All those right-wing outfits buy them.
Oh, sure,
like the
sure.
Heritage Foundation or whatever. And, like, no one did that for me.
Right.
These are our fans.
Right.
These are, like, the crazy Malloy and Miller fans that actually bought this book to make it #1. And it's only an ebook. I mean, it's an ebook single. And it so, tell us again how liberal there's no audience for it, right?
I know, but it's not the audience that talk radio is concerned with. It is eliminating opposing voices to this right-wing corporate mindset. And apparently that includes you. I mean, I've always known that. I've worked at two of the biggest stations in the country, and temporarily, and eventually that that little honeymoon ended simply because I was going too far off the reservation, so to speak, and they didn't like it. And then of course when J-Corps came along and became Clear Channel, you know what happened then? Buy up all the radio stations and eliminate everybody who's not doing the party line. So we've you and I and Hartman and so many of us have gone through this.
But you were surviving, and why? Because our ideas have
some value.
Power. Like whether it's progressivevoices.com or SiriusXM or Stitcher or wherever, iHeart apps, or I think that that stupid old saying is still true that content is king.
Yeah.
That and we're all struggling to monetize because we're not in a 500 station universe like Rush and his friends, but we're surviving. Because, like you say, look at the polling, look at the country. We are not a conservative country. Look at this poll that came out recently. The country has gotten more liberal. I mean, it just has. And you look at demographically or anything else, and that's going to be even more so.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question of Mama?
Oh, there she is.
Yes, baby.
Just one more. Because my daughter still calls you Mama every time she hears your voice. Like, is that my real?
Molly?
Is that my real mommy? Yeah. Molly is 11 today. She's 11 years old today.
We've been waiting to tell
she
you
misses
this, Kathy.
you.
We're so sorry. Mike and I have been waiting a long time.
Hey! This is a book tour.
Too many secrets in the talk radio
That's true.
universe. But I want to know, Mama, new mommy,
Yeah.
if you're going to pull a Hartman on us now and come out with like a book of the month, is it going to be you sneeze, you write another book? You know
how many books?
You write a book.
I don't know. Like Hartman, you'll be talking to him. You'll be interviewing, and he'll have written another book while he's talking to you.
While he's talking to you, he's the most prolific writer I've ever come across. Every time I see Tom, I just feel inadequate. I feel so inadequate. I just look at him and say, another book, and I have a couple of them. If you want to get a real good book he wrote, it's about walking meditation, which I thought was a good one. Stephanie, I wish you the best on this tour. I'm going to. How much is your book?
It's listen. I think it's like $4.95.
Oh my God! I'm gonna buy it tonight when the program's over.
Please do. It's
I'll do it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mike.
And I'm going to encourage everybody who's listening to buy all 23 of them. Stephanie, I love talking to you. I'm glad you've done what you've done. I hope we get together soon.
Thanks, honey. Love you. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye, Steph. We'll be back.